forecast first on KOLR 10 News, Ozarks First.
Well, another day where radar looks like this, bone dry across the area. We did find more cloud cover today, though, and that helped keep temperatures lower this afternoon. Very comfortable out there in the mid-80s right now. Here's a look at our overnight forecast, and it looks as nice as the last few nights. Temperatures looks like they'll be in the low 80s at 8 o'clock with mostly sunny skies at that point as clouds should thin out. And then we'll find mainly starry conditions overnight tonight. Another pleasant night with readings dropping into the middle and upper 60s. We've got a front moving through the area tomorrow, but it's not going to bring rain. It's going to bring more dry weather, but that pattern will change by this weekend. There is rain in the forecast. I'll have details coming up. KOLR 10 News at 6 starts now.
Now, from Ozarks First, you're watching KOLR 10 News at 6.
And up first on this Monday, the Ride the Ducks boat that sank in Table Rock Lake last Thursday is now out of the water. As
investigators search for answers in this tragedy that killed 17 people, state officials are even looking into possible criminal charges today. Good evening, I'm Heather Lewis.
Good to have you along for the show this evening. I'm David Oliver. This is the latest information we have right now about the Ride the Ducks tragedy that happened on Table Rock Lake. Let me show you this. Coast Guard crew members raised the sunken boat this morning. As we mentioned, it was in about 80 feet of water. The operation only took about an hour and a half. We also now know the Missouri State Highway Patrol investigators are looking into whether any criminal acts were committed. The next step, NTSB officials will be taking a closer look at the boat itself, and it could take a year for us to see the results of its final investigation. And our team coverage continues tonight.
KOLR 10's Crystal Blair is live in Branson with what officials are saying now that the recovery operation is complete. Crystal.
Well, Heather and David, as you mentioned, today was the day they raised that boat from the waters. It was 80 feet, and they got the job done in just 90 minutes.
An operation like this doesn't occur without a great deal of planning and coordination.
It was a job initially expected to take close to 5 hours, but crews were able to lift the sunken vessel out of the water in an hour and a half. Coast Guard Captain Scott Stormer addressed media outlets from around the country and some international.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Explaining that he couldn't answer any specific questions about the incident. However, he did thank all of those involved in getting the boat raised.
Specifically the Highway Patrol, the Highway Patrol dive team, and I'd also like to thank the city of Branson and the Showboat Branson Bell for their support and their hospitality.
Captain Stormer went on to describe exactly how they raised the boat.
They attached a rig sling system to the duck, as you can see, and as you have been able to observe this morning. Once that was attached and secure, they raised the vessel just slightly in an effort to determine its stability and adjust the rig if that was necessary.
After making sure divers were safely out of the area, the vessel was then raised to the surface and water was removed so that it could be taken by flatbed to a secured location.
At that point, it'll be transferred, the custody of the duck will be transferred from the Missouri State Highway Patrol to the National Transportation Safety Board, and that will they will take possession of it for the completion of the completion of the investigation.
The question being asked the most concerning this tragedy, why was the boat taken onto the lake with ominous weather conditions looming, will be a focal point of the investigation.
One of the goals and the objectives of the investigation is to evaluate if the operational guidance for Ride the Ducks and for this particular operation was followed.
Now, Captain Stormer says that when divers went down to the bottom of the waters, they did take photographs of the sunken boat. And what they're hoping to do and focus on the most is, were operational guidelines followed on Ride the Ducks on the day that this tragedy took place? Reporting live at Table Rock Lake, Crystal Blair, KOLR 10 News, Ozarks First.
So heartbreaking to see those life jackets coming up first. Crystal, thank you. You know, we've shown you several video clips of rough waters on Table Rock Lake on Thursday evening when the duck boat sank with 31 people on board. This footage was taken by a woman who was on board the Showboat Branson Bell.
And now people who saw what happened are saying the danger on Table Rock was foreseeable. KOLR 10's Colin Lingo heard from two witnesses today who each explained they watched Thursday's storms roll in before that boat sank. Colin?
Yeah, David, Heather, when a tragedy like this happens, many try to find someone to blame or hold responsible. Neither of the people we spoke to outright said the boat company is at fault, but both said the storms those boats rolled into and the danger those storms presented were predictable.
clearly see that the duck was having issues out in the water. It wasn't going very well.
Oh no, somebody needs to help them.
Those poor people.
There's no telling how many times Ginny Carr has watched this video since she first shot it last Thursday. The footage shows the duck boat on which 17 people would die struggling to stay afloat, while Carr and the other guests of the showboat Branson Bell watched, frustrated they couldn't do more to help.
I really wanted to do something, you know, but what could you do? We were all told to stay on the boat.
Instead, she says more could have been done by following weather predictions.
It wasn't a pop-up storm by no means, and how people are saying it was a pop-up storm, I don't know. It was on radar. We had a watch. At 6:30, we got a warning.
To get out, it took nearly all your strength just to open the door, getting blasted with rain.
I spoke recently to a young man from Oklahoma, Braden Molaski, who was also on the Bell that night. He, too, talked about the severity of the weather on Thursday.
The sky was real dark off to the side, but where the ducks were at the time, it was real nice and clear. But then, as we were on the ship, we saw it getting darker and darker. Waves started whitecapping, then it started raining real hard.
My heart was breaking because I knew what was going to happen. It shouldn't have happened. They knew the storms were coming. I seen the storm in the sky.
Colin Lingo, Color 10 News, Ozarks First.
And tonight, new at 6, a man who inspects duck boats told CNN today that he warned the company about design flaws last year. Steve Paul, the owner of Test Drive Technologies, also told CNN the duck boats are difficult to escape.
If you have the curtains down on the side and obviously you have the canopy on top of it, I think it's going to make it extremely difficult for passengers to escape. And back in 1999, a similar incident happened in Arkansas, where the NTSB warned duck boat operators about the hazard.
Survivors of the Missouri duck boat tragedy last Thursday say the captain told them they would not need their life jackets. You can see in this video of the duck boat coming out of the water this morning that, again, the life jackets are still inside the boat.
Ride the Ducks Branson posted a statement on its Facebook page today. It stated the company is offering to pay funeral expenses for the victims. The statement also says the company is fully cooperating with NTSB inspectors and that it can't comment on this investigation. Ride the Ducks Branson is owned by Ripley's Entertainment.
Of course, we'll stay on the story. We'll have any updates on ozarksfirst.com. We are finally getting some relief now from the intense summer heat, but when will we see some much needed rain? Jamie has some answers next in the 7-day forecast.